TGIF and holy cow, Crochet is a beast. Let's talk some baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're here to end the week with some more baseball talk. That's right, baby. It was a ho-hum 2-2 day. We started out rough because of nasty Nestor Cortez, but we ended 2-2 because of Mr. Crochet, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Quick reminder, possibly our last NBA video is out now. The best bets for game 4, and we got a plus 300 parlay. Go check that out. Let's get a winner to end the season. But we got a full 15 game slate today. That's right. We got a big MLB slate like usual on a Friday. So let's get right into it. And that starts with a baseball fun fact. This one might be a little boring. Sorry to say that, but I just want to let you guys know the fun fact today is about a baseball. It is a requirement that a Major League Baseball have exactly 108 stitches and weigh between 5 to 5.25 ounces. Except for when they decide to juice them, then they weigh a little bit more. But anyways, that's crazy. Just want to point that out. In this video, we are going to recap yesterday, and then we're going to go over the good hitter matchups, the good pitcher strikeout matchups, talk about that pitcher report, and then, of course, wrap it all up with the best bets, the hitter parlay ideas, and the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we try to chase 26,000 subscribers. Let's get into it, and it starts with the recap. All right, there it is, the 2-2 day. We went 2-0 on the video picks, and then I added 2 losers, like a loser myself. But the Minnesota Twinkies, minus 1.5, they got the job done. It took a little bit longer, but they dominated the game. They were hitting every single inning, had rallies going. Carlos Correa hits a 2-run bomb. They win 6-2. Garrett Crochet, my goodness, guys. He had 13 strikeouts. I mentioned he's a good ladder opportunity. Did I ladder? No, because I'm dumb. But hopefully someone out there did ladder. It's hard to ladder when it's already at 8 Ks, but he got 13. The Mariners would have just been the same if they went up there with no bats. I mean, what was the point of having a bat in your hand? That was insane. But anyways, nice winner. Aaron Judge and Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis got the hit. Aaron Judge 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. What do you want? That's how close we were to a winning night again. But Aaron Judge, one of the greatest hitters in baseball, of course. That's what happens in baseball. You can have 0 for 4 days. And then Nasty Nestor, I added this, and I was so confident about it. He's only done it once on the road all season long. He starts out the game with an 8-pitch inning, then he goes 10-pitch inning. The Royals were just swinging early and often, not doing crap on offense. And unfortunately, he did it. He pitched, I think, 7 innings, actually. Maybe not even quite 7, but he definitely went over this one. So it was a 2-2 day. Ho-hum. We put a unit on all of them, and it didn't change much. We're still 2-2. I'm just sitting here waiting for my hot streak still. It's just sitting, waiting patiently. So we'll see if that comes soon. But there's the record for the season. We got a long ways to go. We got a hole to dig out of. But before we get into the best bets, let's get to all that research help. And it starts with the good hitter matchups. We got 14 good hitter matchups for you today. Top left means that's the most at-bats, all the way down to the least at-bats. We don't go lower than 6, but Yan Gomes, 14 for 34. That's what everyone wanted to see, right? A good Yan Gomes hitter parlay. But then on the right, 3 down, you got Mr. Dansby Swanson. It's the best hitter on the board right here. He's not the best hitter, the best matchup. 9 for 13 with 2 extra base hits versus Kyle Gibson. They play in the early game, just heads up. But other than that, over there on the left, Machado 7 for 17. He's been inconsistent this year. Profar versus Shamanea 7 for 21. He's been pretty good. And then Yandy Diaz, an impressive 6 for 16 off of the lefty Chris Sale. And then there's all the rest of the guys. So take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps you go get some winners. And now let's talk some arms. All right, we got a lot of high strikeout pitchers today. I'm going to have 3 matchups for you, and then 3 guys that didn't make the cut, but they're high strikeout pitchers, just not the greatest of matchups. So first one, Ranger Suarez for the Phillies at the Baltimore Orioles. What a series we have. Maybe the series of the year. Baltimore, 8th highest K percentage versus lefty the last 3 weeks at 24.3%. Suarez, 85 Ks and 79.2 innings. And then Suarez last 5 starts, you see it right there, 6-2, 9, 10, and 3. But only 2 of those teams were top 10 highest strikeout teams versus lefties were Colorado and Texas. And you see what he did. He had 9 and 10 strikeouts. So it is surprising to see Baltimore up here, but they do strike out quite a bit against lefties. And then the Mets and St. Louis up there are bottom 10. I mean, they're tough matchups, so take that for what it is. But second one, another lefty, Mr. Chris Sale against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays have the 6th highest K percentage versus lefties in the last 3 weeks at 24.5%. Sale 92 and 74.2. He's had a heck of a year. We've talked about it before. He has 8+ Ks now in 6 of his last 7 starts. He is averaging 7.66 Ks per start this year. So that's the first two. Take a screenshot. Let's go check out the final one and some other pitchers that just missed the cut. Freddie Peralta versus the Reds. Reds fourth highest K percentage versus righties in the last 3 weeks at over 25%. Peralta, we know he misses bats, 92 and 70.2 innings. He has 7+ Ks in all 5 home starts this season, and he's at home again. He has 6+ Ks in 10 of 13 starts this year. So again, this is all just info. It doesn't mean auto play him because obviously the books know some of this, and they might play a line that was too high, like Crochet. They didn't put it high enough. 7.5. They could have put 11.5. It still hit, but anyways, those are the 3 best pitcher strikeout matchups, but there's some guys throwing today that you're probably thinking, why in the world did you not include them? Well, I'm going to at least put him down here because I just can't leave him out today. Luis Hill, my goodness, for the Yankees. We've talked about him. 90 Ks in 75 innings. He has been absolutely electric. With Garrett Cole coming back, it's just not going to be fair. But he's facing Boston, who was higher earlier in the year, but just last 3 weeks, they've been average. They've been a little bit better, 15th, 22.8%. So it's still a decent matchup, and he strikes out a lot of hitters anyways. But just want to point that out. Then the righty, Hunter Green for the Reds, missing a little less bats this year than he used to, but still 84 Ks and 77.1 innings. Facing Milwaukee, kind of the same average, 23% K rate, 14th. And then the lefty, Cole Ragans, who's a strikeout machine. He is facing the Los Angeles Dodgers. We got some good matchups today. I am excited for this Friday, like the Yankees-Boston series, Ragans versus the Dodgers, Phillies-Orioles, possibly a World Series preview. We'll see, but Ragans, 98 Ks in 79 innings. Dodgers, though, are 18th in K rated, only 19.7% versus lefties. So that's what we got for you. That's all the arms. It's 6 different pitchers we just talked about. Hopefully, you can go find some winners, as well as myself finding some winners. But now it's time for the pitcher report. All right, here is page 1, and the first game starts earlier in the day with the Cardinals at the Cubs. Wicks versus Gibson. A couple of guys that just give up a lot of hits. You should see some hits in that game. But Luis Hill versus Brian Bayo. Complete opposite pitchers. Bayo actually has done better with his K percentage, but still below average. Doesn't miss a lot of bats, and Hill does the exact opposite. So that's a definite advantage for the Yankees there. No pitcher yet for the Marlins. Suarez versus Bradish. That's a great one down or over there in Baltimore. Excited to see that one. Other than that, we got some just kind of okay pitchers. Atlanta has a big advantage, obviously, with Chris Sale against Zach Littell. And then Richardson has been surprisingly good for the Minnesota Twins. 2.84 ERA, 3.42 expected ERA. Not too shabby at all going up against those struggling Oakland A's and Mitch Spence. So take a screenshot and remember there is averages on the bottom just to compare to help you guys out. Hopefully this is a good way to start your day with your MLB betting. So let's go check out page 2. And we got some more good pitchers on the slate. How about Green versus Peralta to start it up there? And then Tariq Skubal's on the card. We got Cole Ragans on the card. Luis Castillo, so on and so on. Gavin Stone's been pitching the ball well. So we got some interesting matchups. Skubal against the Astros is going to be interesting because the Astros do not strike out against lefties at all. But Skubal obviously with that 31.1% K rate. And so on and so on. But Andrew Heaney's one of the weaker pitchers. Ryan Nelson's struggling. I mean, his ERA is 5.96, and his expected ERA tells him, yep, you do suck. 5.92. It has been ugly for him, giving up 12.3 hits per 9 innings. It's hard to take hitter props on White Sox players, but there's a pitcher who knows how to give up some hits. So, anyways, we got a lot of fun matchups. So that's the full 15 matchups for you today. Take another screenshot of page 2, and now let's get to the best bets. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, Better Bet. That's BTR Bet, the best place to find, track, analyze, and share your bets. Click that link below in the description. Put in that promo code JABO. You get 30 days free. All right, bet number 1 is a player prop parlay. Give me Simeon Woods Richardson, under 2.5 earned runs, and Rangers Suarez, 4+ Ks. I got that at plus 117 on DK. So SWR, as the young kids call them, under 2.5 runs. He's been solid for the Twins. He's gone under this 2.5 on earned runs line in 3 home starts out of 3. So that's all of them. Yep, I did the math. And 8 of 10 starts overall. So he's been an above average pitcher in pretty much all the categories that you look for. He also has a low walk rate. He's about average in K rate. He limits some hard contact, low ERA, low expected ERA, as you saw in the pitcher report. He's faced some decently easy teams. I'm not going to sit here and say he's faced a gauntlet of hard offenses. But he's still been consistent every start. And, oh, by the way, he's facing now probably the worst offense in Major League Baseball as of right now. The A's are freaking awful. That's why we bet the Twins -1.5. And again, the A's only had one swing of the bat to score 2 runs and never scored again. So this is the crazy stat. I went back and looked at right-handers versus the A's lately. 14 straight righties have gone under this 2.5 earned run line versus the A's. 14 straight. I know that means they're due, but I just got to ride the numbers here and just what I've seen from the A's. It has not been pretty. So SWR, 8 of 10 starts this year gone under. A's 14 straight righties have gone under. It's a great hit rate. Now let's talk the numbers. The A's versus righties in the last month. Fourth lowest batting average, third lowest OBP, third fewest runs scored versus righties, even though they have the third most plate appearances versus righties in the last month. That's right. They are a top team in facing righties and how many times they faced, but they still have the third fewest runs. They are just completely bad. Give me SWR to keep them under 2 or under 3 runs. Give up 2 or earn 2. Can I even talk? I don't even know. 2 earned runs or less as the first leg. And the second leg, the lefty Ranger Suarez for the Phillies. Now his line is 4.5, and it's already juiced to the over to go to 5. I think he gets 6+. I'm gonna be honest, maybe 7+ in this one. We talked about him in the pitcher strikeout matchups. His line is juiced, but I just need 4. This is just a leg to reduce it. In case you're wondering, you guys do whatever you want. You can add something else. You can make it go higher if you want higher odds or better odds and all that. But he's facing the Orioles, top 10 K rate versus lefties in the last 3 weeks. Suarez, 4+ Ks in 11 of 13 starts, and he has 4+ Ks in all 6 of his road starts. So I like him here to just get 4 Ks. That's all I need. Don't let me down, Ranger. But anyways, give me SWR and Walker, Texas Ranger for the plus money winner as bet number 1. All right, we take a pause in the bets just to let you know about the BetMGM promo out right now. First bet offer up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win that first bet. Guys, you can go take a chance. You can go make a huge bet. If you lose, it's okay because you're going to get it back in bonus bets. Now, in order to get this promo, you got to click that link below for BetMGM. It's in the description. Go check it out. It's a limited time offer, but it is a great deal. And you got nothing to lose. Go sign up. And I always recommend using different sports books because it's going to give you different odds. Long term, it's going to really help you out. So if you're in a legal state, go check out BetMGM. Of course, you must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, back to the bets. This second one takes us out to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home of some incredible cheese. At least that's what I think. But the Brewers hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Brewers on the money line -135. Reds money line +114 with a total of 7.5 runs. And speaking of the 7.5 runs, give me the freaking over in this game of 7.5 between these teams at -112 on DraftKings. Putting a unit on this. I also put a unit on that first bet. And this third bet I'm about to give you will be a half unit. But anyways, jumping ahead of myself. Name-wise, big matchup here. Hunter Green, Freddie Peralta. You think, no way are they going to score a lot of runs. I haven't been blown away by them recently. Honestly, and that's no pun intended. But Hunter Green, let's talk about him a little bit. These are still 2 solid pitchers. I'm not going to sit here and say they're bad. But again, we're betting the number here. It's 7.5. So Hunter Green faced the Brewers earlier this season. He gave up 6 earned runs in that game. It was not pretty. It was earlier, though. He just gave up 9 total earned runs to the Cubs in the last 2 starts. He faced the Cubs twice, gave up 5 and 4 earned runs. So it's not like he's been just absolutely dominating. He is still good, but he's not missing as many bats like we talked about earlier. 6 or less Ks now in 7 of his last 9 starts. So I mean, listen, he's still a good strikeout pitcher, but he's just not that guy that's just dominating with a 35% K rate or anything like that this year. And he's facing a Brewers offense now, 12th in WRC plus in the last month, 6th highest walk rate, which could be important because, well, Hunter Green has a 10% walk rate himself. Brewers have the 4th highest on base percentage. They have familiarity with Green. I think I said that right. Familiarity. I think they can score some runs off him. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they score anywhere 2 to 4 runs off him. And then Freddie Peralta. He's let us down before on a K prop. He just hasn't been as dominant as he was earlier in the season. He's given up now 3 or more earned runs in 5 of his last 7 starts. He is very hittable. And oh, by the way, some of those teams that he just faced to give up 3 or more earned runs, Detroit, the White Sox, the Pirates, and the Cubs. We're not talking great offenses. So his command has not been as great. If you watch him pitch, he's been leaving pitches right over the plate. And it just hasn't been as good for him. Maybe he has impeccable command, hits corners and all that, but just the way he's been pitching, I'm not a huge fan of him. And listen, I don't think Peralta's a guy who's a 2.5 ERA type guy. Anyways, he's now around 4 with the ERA. But he's facing a Reds offense. If you remember earlier this year, you remember I used to talk about the Reds. They were dead last in absolutely everything versus righties. They have finally figured it out, and that's why they're winning some more games. Last 3 weeks versus righties, seventh highest on base percentage, seventh highest WRC plus, 12th highest batting average. They have the 17th most plate appearances versus righties, but have still managed to score the ninth most runs versus righties. So they have an above average offense right now, which you love to see. We got some guys in that lineup hitting the ball well. I think we can have a 3-2, 4-2 type of game when the starting pitchers are out of the game, and then that just leads us to get a couple more off the bullpens. Brewers obviously do have a good bullpen. Reds have been shaky. They have been like that for a few years, but I think a couple runs can be scored off them. But again, one of these pitchers is capable of also just having a blow up start. So hopefully that happens. I don't know which team it's going to be, and that's why I'm just taking the over instead of a side here. So give me the over 7.5 as my second best bet. All right, this third one takes us out to Houston, Texas, where the Astros host the Detroit Tigers. Astros money line minus 115, Tigers on the money line minus 105. A total of 7.5 runs in this game. I'm going to go with the player prop, and it's going to be a half unit play on this one. Give me Hunter Brown over 5.5 Ks at minus 120 on BetMGM. So I'm going to half unit because I don't fully trust Hunter Brown. Let's be honest. He has improved and he's looked a lot better. I'm going to be honest. He has an impressive turnaround, but he still could be a little bit shaky, especially with his command. He has 3 to 4 walks in 3 of his last 5 starts. So if he has one of those command issues where he's walking 4 or 5 guys, then obviously you don't love to see it. Works the pitch count up, makes him not last as long, things like that. So that's the only reason I'm doing a half unit, but I still do love this play. If he's on, I think he's gonna get this. He has 6+ Ks in 6 of his last 9 starts, and also 3 straight. He has 7 versus the Angels, 7 Twins, and 9 versus the Mariners in the last 3 starts. I mean, 9 is kind of low, actually, for the Mariners. He now faces a Detroit offense. They have the 7th highest K rate versus righties in the last 3 weeks. We didn't talk about this matchup in the pitcher strikeout one, but the Tigers are right up there, 24.6%. And that's actually a higher percentage than any of those 3 teams he just faced, the Angels, Minnesota, and Seattle, in the last 3 weeks. 0.1% higher than Seattle. That's really not higher. It's about the same. But Detroit also 7th lowest on base percentage, which can raise that pitch count up and all that kind of stuff. 19th best WRC plus. They're just a below average offense versus righties. And why that's important? Well, that means he could possibly go deeper into the game, and that's what you like to see, because deeper means he could actually get more opportunities to get some more Ks. His outs line on the books right now is at 16.5, so he could go right there close to 6 innings pitch, and I think that's plenty of opportunity for him to get 6 Ks here. So give me Hunter Brown to get 6 or more Ks for the 4th straight start. That will be a half unit play for me. And now let's talk these hitter parlay ideas. And real quick, just a quick reminder for everybody. I think there is some weather issues in the Red Sox-Yankees game where weather's going to hit right around first pitch. That could change. I'm not a weatherman. I just wanted to let you guys know. That's why I've stayed away so far, but I did want to pound the Yankees on that one with that pitching advantage there, but just want to let you know. So something to keep an eye on. But hitter parlay ideas, I got 5 of them for you. So let's get right into it. The first one, Carlos Correa, 1+ hit. He's absolutely scorching hot. Just scorching. 552 in the last 7 days. That's like MLB The Show video game numbers on rookie. He's hitting 552. It just doesn't even make sense. He's hitting 300 on the season or right around there now. He has 1+ hit in 7 of his last 8. And he's a ridiculous 14 for his last 22. That is a 636 average in his last 22 at bats. He's facing Mitch Spence. He's fine. He's nothing special. 46 hits and 51.1 innings. I like Correa to stay hot. Marcell Ozuna, I don't think he's let us down once, honestly. Maybe one time earlier this year, but 417 he's hitting the last 7 days. Just continues to stay hot. 320 on the season. He actually has an insane 2+ hits in 6 of his last 7 games. That is crazy. Maybe look at his 2+ hits here. He has 1+ hit in 14 of his last 16. He is hitting 351 at home this year. He will be at home. And he's facing Zach Littell, who has given up 10.2 hits per 9 innings. That's the 3rd most hits per 9 innings on the slate today in the MLB. Third one. This is just an obvious one. Bobby Witt. I just want to sit here and tell you just every day. Let's just assume, even if I don't talk about Bobby Witt, just put him on here because he's got to be here every day. He's hitting 326 on the season. He's hitting 433 in the last 7 days. He has 2+ hits in 4 of the last 7 games. And he is now on a 14-game hitting streak. If you watch him play, it's so fun to watch. He plays hard. He takes the pitch where it is. If you want to try to get him on the outside corner, he'll just poke it to right field. It doesn't matter. I saw a couple impressive hits even on an 0-2 count today. He is something special. But he has overall this season 1+ hit in 53 of 69 games. He is facing Gavin Stone of the Dodgers. He's average when it comes to hits, so nothing special there. The fourth one. This is one where I'm just going to put this out there. He's going to have some decent odds on this one. So it's a little riskier one, but it's Dansby Swanson. We kind of have to. Do you see the hitter matchups? He's 9 for 13 off Kyle Gibson. And this is the earlier game, just a reminder. But he's only hitting 222 this season. But he does have 1+ hit in 9 of his last 13, picking it up a little bit. 9 of his last 13, and he's 9 for 13 off Gibson. Holy smokes, I just realized the coincidence there. It's meant to be, guys. Anyways, not having his best year like we talked about, but he does hit better at home again in Wrigley Field. 256 average and 197 average on the road. He will be home. He's also hitting 247 in day games compared to 203 in night games. Does that really matter? I have no freaking clue, but I'm just here to give you numbers. The fifth one, Yandy Diaz. He has a tough matchup versus Chris Sale, but I don't know how much it matters because he's 6 for 16 off Chris Sale. So he has hit him. He's familiar with him. He's also hitting 400 in the last 7 days. And is also hitting lefties really well. 294 off lefties compared to 244 off righties. So I like Yandy Diaz. I like Mr. Dansby Swanson as a little outside shot. And then Bobby Witt, Marcell Ozuna, and Carlos Correa. That's the research help. The 3 best bets, the 5 hitter parlay ideas. Again, any added plays will be in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. That was a lot of fun. Man, I love talking baseball. All right, let's get to that recap. All right, we got S-Dub under 2.5 earned runs and Ranger Suarez 4+ Ks at plus money, and then the over 7.5 in the Reds and Brewers, and then Hunter Brown, downtown Hunter Brown over 5.5 Ks at -120. That will be a half unit. I'm more than likely going to add a hitter parlay and maybe one more bet if I like it, but I don't want to force anything. So that's the bets recap for June 13. If you haven't already, go check out that NBA Game 4 Best Bets video. If the Celtics take it, that will be the final NBA video of the year. So if you're new to the channel, real quick, we don't do these long videos on the weekends, but I will still have my best bets out on the community tab on our YouTube, on Discord with write-ups, which is free, by the way, and also on X. So be sure to check that out. Hope everyone has a great Friday, has a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.